Can you ask out a coworker while at work?
So I would not recommend that in the Me Too type of era. It's always better in those kinds of situations, especially if it seems like one of your female coworkers is kind of sweet on you. The best way to handle those situations is if you're doing something that weekend and with your friends, and then you're all talking in the office, like, hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? And she might say that she's going downtown or she's going to this place or this sushi bar with her girlfriends to hang out. And you could simply say, well, hey, we're going to be down in the area. Take my number and reach out to us. If you guys are in the area, shoot us a text. Maybe we can all meet up and hang out together. Just like that's all you have to do. So it's in the context of just, hey, coworkers just hanging out socially in a group. And that way she can't say, oh, he's hitting on me or this or that. It's a group type of thing. This way, if anything happens outside of work, because typically if the girl is interested and she'll show up, she'll accept your invitation, she'll bring people to that type of event. And if she comes up and starts displaying indicators of interest, touching your arm, standing too close, playing with her hair, asking you personal questions, bumping into you accidentally, constantly, those kinds of things, then you can talk more and escalate things. But, this way it shows up, it's very low risk. It's just, hey, if the girl likes you, she will find a reason to drag her girlfriends to go hang out with you and your friends, and then you can take it from there and see how she operates. But the other thing you got to keep in mind is you also kind of want to be like James Bond. You want to keep it on the down low because women don't want any drama. If they're going to date or hook up with a guy from work, they're typically going to make 100% sure that you're a guy that can handle it, not some dude's going to cause drama or get all dopey and drool all over him and cause scenes at the office or gossip and tell all your guy friends at the office that, he's been sleeping with you and all the things you're doing and where your tattoos and your birthmarks are and all kinds of things like that to get back to her. So it's important to keep everything to yourself. If anybody's going to find out that something's going on, it's going to come from her and not you. It's called operational security. And so in this case, it's a very dicey situation, but, inviting her and her friends, or maybe her and some of the other coworkers to join you and your friends because you like to do similar things socially and meet up, and that's a much lower risk way to do something versus risking your job if you happen to assume wrongly that she's interested in you. This way, it's very low bar to entry, very low risk. It's a very casual thing. If women like you, they'll put themselves in your orbit so you can make something happen. And if not, who knows? Maybe she still shows up, but she shows you no indicators of interest, but her hot single girlfriend that came with her, you just click with. And whereas you go from being focused on dating her and all of a sudden she shows up with a girlfriend and you really connect on a level that you haven't connected with anybody in a long time. And that's typically how things work. So it's why it's important to be unattached and let her come, let her go, let her stay, let her bring other people or whatever. She'll let you know if she's interested.
I don't think, like, personally, especially if you work in an office, I don't think you should be dating anybody that you work with. It's not a good experience because, maybe if you have something casual, okay, that's fine or whatever. But if something comes of that and you want to form a relationship, what if something happens, you break up, you're still working together, and if it lasted a year or so, you're still connected with that person, and maybe you kind of fell apart in a bad way. You have to see that person every day, and it's detrimental to your health and your job. So you're losing your job and you just lost the love of your life, so happened or whatever. So
that's if things get messy. That's why you guys are super standoffish in those situations unless you're absolutely certain a dude can keep his mouth shut and ain't going to create problems.
I don't think it's
that's not guaranteed entirely.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed, but at the end of the day, it happens all the time. People date in offices all the time.
Yeah, but he's going to have to look out for his job because some jobs function differently. Not all jobs are the same.
That's why you got to make sure you vet her properly and she's not a Fruit Loop. Because if she's a little wacky, a little crazy, those things go sideways, HR calls you down, and then next thing you know, you're out in your ass. So from a leverage perspective, you're always going to be in a weak position to leverage. So if you're gonna get involved, because guys are gonna do whatever anyways. If you're gonna get involved, you better make sure that she's not a Fruit Loop because she will burn your ass.
So I have a question that's kind of somewhat completely different from this. You were saying something about that it's also good for the guy to also be unattached. How can he do that?
Well, being unattached, in other words, not getting mad or upset that she didn't want to go or she didn't show up, or when she did show up, she paid him no attention. And then, because you're, in this case, usually the guy's pretty sure she's interested, but you don't really know until she's out in public. You may have misread things, and that's why I said you may meet somebody else as part of the group. Maybe it's one of her friends or somebody that she knows. And so the idea is that you're open to a relationship. You're ready, willing, able, and open to meet somebody new, whether it's the female coworker or one of her friends or somebody else that you meet out in the venue. You're looking for somebody that has enthusiasm for you, that wants to spend time with you. And if a girl likes you, she'll make it easy to spend time with her. And if she doesn't, she'll throw up all kinds of roadblocks and difficulties. You got something you want to say?
You don't stick your pen in company ink.
Don't dip your pen in company ink. It's usually the smart thing to do. Doesn't always work out. Sometimes it does. But there's a lot of downside risk for the average dude.
I think it's bad on both sides.
I just worry about him losing his job over it, or that the job gets involved because like a lot of jobs, especially I don't know if there's like this whole liability thing that they have.
Fraternization.
Yeah, it's like one of those like
meet at work,
liability
though.
things.
A lot of people meet at work. It's very common.
Don't you have to sign like a contract or something?
It just depends. Like
Depends on the company.
Certain places you do,
but not in a mom and a pop shop.
Yeah. Because honestly, that kind of stuff I feel is annoying. Like, why does the job have to know that you're dating the other person?
A job that I had worked
Called
at.
Because they're worried about their
before.
liability if
Yeah,
something goes
Called
wrong.
HR.
Because then
Human
she goes and
resources.
gets an attorney and sues the company because they didn't do anything to protect her.
Exactly.
If one other got nuts or something.
I didn't even know that was a thing where like it can even like a lawyer can even get involved too.
Of course they can.
I mean, I wouldn't know because I've never dated anyone in my
Paycheck
job.
in it
So.
for them. They don't give a fuck. They like people with deep pockets. They like companies with deep
It has
pockets.
nothing to do with the deep pockets. It has to do with self-respect at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It has to do with how attorneys are. They
I didn't
sue
even know
where the
that.
money is. If there's no money, there's no deep pockets, they won't take the case.
Yeah.
If there's no insurance company they'll pay out, they're like,
Like at a place that I worked like last year and a half ago, that even because most places you can't fraternize with the managers, you can't drink with them or go out or anything. But the employees were not allowed to date one another. And if you did, you'd have to move to a different department.
Right.
You weren't allowed.
yeah, the bigger the company, the more the separation and the more things are fenced off. The smaller the company or the operation, the more open it's going to be. But it's just, the corporate world, it's with the attorneys and the HR departments, it's like it doesn't take much. The company is always going to err on the side of caution and just, push the dude right out the door, even if he did nothing wrong. All the girl has to do is say something bad, and they'll just assume that she's right.
The Me Too movement.
It's a Me Too movement.
Yeah.